Hey guys, welcome back. This is Storm and welcome to episode 179 of our single player Tiveden world. Well, you can see what I've been working on in between episodes, so let's take a look at this guy. We've got a base for our miniature Pillager outpost. You can see we've got a captain friend up the top there now, and this is trying to mimic what the look of a basalt delta is from afar. So hopefully I'll pull that off. It is a small scale, so we might have to do something about that. But I thought we needed something underneath this structure to give it some support. Still needs some work, it's not perfect, but it does look better than it was before, just floating up in the air. Alrighty, so that's perfect timing for a magma cube to spawn down there, because I'm going to try and expand part of this landscape around here. I've got some blackstone. I don't really have a lot of supplies here. This won't go very far, but I'm just going to try and make maybe this section here look a little bit like those newer biomes and maybe some of the areas out the back. So we're going to start off the episode here with a little bit of a time lapse. Alrighty, so here we go. We've got some progress now made around here. I think it blends in quite well. You can see I haven't really done massive amounts of terraforming here. We've got plenty of netherrack and nether wastes looking biomes around this, but I think you get the picture. I mean, if you're just walking past here at a glance, I think you would be fooled to think that this is a basalt delta down there. And if you come along from this other angle as well, I think it looks okay. And then you only get a little glimpse when you come from this direction. But I'm pretty happy with that. It didn't take too long really to map all that out. Now when it comes to basalt, because I didn't have a whole lot, I did run out pretty quickly building that. But one thing you can do, you can farm this, and I'll just show you where I've got a very simple farming setup hidden around the corner here, because sometimes you need some extra supplies. So this is one way you can do it. You can just have blue ice above here with lava on the sides. And you can definitely speed this up by having a beacon around here. I mean, it's not too bad. It's fast enough for me. And then I've just got hoppers underneath this, collecting the basalt into a chest. And then to finish off this area, I am trying out a couple of different railing designs here for this walkway. Here we're going with the nether brick wall with alternating fences here. Doesn't look too bad. Now you can fall through this. I've already done that once. So I guess that adds to the danger. And then on this other side, I've just got the nether brick wall, and I've got string every couple of blocks to make it look like it's got a post. That's pretty much the only way we can add this post design without having a block on top. I think in the Bedrock edition you can put a button on top, but yeah, we can't do that in the Java edition. So this is really my two options, and I'm not sure which one I like better. I might go with this one just because it's a little bit more open. You can see the lava better, where this one's just far more enclosed and looks, yeah, just, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll just step back here and maybe see. Although I won't be able to see all the way through because we've got a solid on the other side. Anyway, I'm going to experiment with that and then I'll finish this off. And as you can tell, I went for the first design and I like how you can see through it. So there we go, winner. Now in the spirit of decorating some previous builds, so I've come over to our guardian farm here, and this is an area that's been long overdue to do something down the bottom of this area. It's been untouched since I cleared out the ocean monument. This is just the base of the pyramid area. And I think we can add some decorations. We can add some details here, make it look a little bit more interesting. So we have plenty of these kind of blocks around. I mean, if you've got a guardian farm, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You just get a complete excess of these kind of materials. So let's go down and check out the suppliers. Oh yes, plenty of suppliers. So I'm going to put these blocks to good use and decorate the lower section of this guardian farm. So to get started here, I'm going to slab all the way around the outside of this area just with prismarine slabs, and then that should allow us to remove most of the lighting, because I think if we can have some selective light sources in here rather than just having the whole ground lit up, it could concentrate how this area looks, maybe have some feature sections where we can have focused lighting. I think that will look pretty cool. So I'm probably going to go around, I'm not sure, maybe 2 blocks wide, yeah, with a slab, and I'll probably do it on the middle or on the inside area here as well. I haven't figured out a design just yet, as you can probably tell, but we're going to just start building away, and then hopefully we can come up with a design that looks half decent. So now that we have this border laid around this lower section, I am thinking of having some kind of box design, maybe 4, we'll try and fit 4 probably on each side. And this is where we can make it like a little flower bed and grow maybe a tree, one of those large trees or something, and make it like a feature area. That could be quite interesting to have just, yeah, trees growing down the bottom. So yeah, how big should we have these boxes? I'm going to try and center the tree, I guess. So if we had the tree there maybe, how big would this need to be? So make this even all the way around. I'm just going to use prismarine blocks to elevate this area. Yeah, well that just fits. Okay. Something like that. Now I do want this to look like a reasonably large box, because if we're going to have a large tree, you want a large base for it, otherwise it'll look a little funny. So maybe something like that. So I'm going to lay out another one down the other end and then just figure out the spacing for this middle section. Well, there we go. We've made some kind of pattern here. It's a little bit different. And as you can see, this is where we've got the block in the middle. That's where we're going to plant, hopefully, a tall tree. And then we'll put in some flowers or just something down the bottom. We'll certainly put some grass down the bottom of each of these. We'll use these like a flower bed. And then for these middle sections, I didn't really know what to do there. So I've just put in some glowstone. I could always change that, or sea lanterns rather, not glowstone. But yeah, I could always change that, but for now I'm just going to leave them in there, just nice and simple. The interesting that it look from up here is that you don't really see the depth between these height changes. I mean, they are the same block type, so maybe I should change out this lower ring of prismarine with a different block. I'll have to think about that. But for now, I'm going to, what should I do? Should I repeat this all the way around or grow trees in here first? Maybe we'll repeat this all the way around first, just make sure the overall look looks okay. So we now have this box design laid out all the way around the base, and I'm liking it. It looks pretty simple, but I think it'll be effective once we have trees growing in each of these, and the spacing should be good as well. So when we do grow a large tree, I'm going to guess that the large tree can have the leaves maybe going 1 block, maybe even 2 blocks around the outside of this lower base. So that should give us enough spacing in between the trees so it doesn't look too crowded down here. I don't want to just be able to see leaves when I look down here. I want to be able to see the gaps in between the trees. So yeah, next steps is to come on down, and the way I'm going to do this, I'm just going to put grass in the middle. And that means this spot here as well. And to try and guarantee a large tree, you can use pretty much any block. But this is one reliable way to do it. Well, you're going to watch this fail on me now, but this is the way I've done it in the past. If you always want to get a large tree, this is going to increase the chances by putting a couple of blocks like stone or cobblestone or something just around the base of the sapling. Now you can see I'm going to churn through the bone meal. Oops, okay. Let's see if I can get out of here. Alright, that totally failed. So I'm going to try this again, and let's just see if I was just unlucky. Alright, now we have ourselves a large tree. How big is this? It does go all the way up to the glass, so it looks like we've got the spacing about right. And what's the overhang? Yeah, it's one block over there, and one block on this side. So that's going to fit quite nicely. We'll probably have to add in a few extra leaves. It does look a little bit bare, this tree. But we are going to repeat this design now all the way around, and hopefully we get some decent looking trees. Alrighty, so we have the trees now planted all the way around, and they are the tall oak variant. They look okay. None of these have been modified just yet. These are just the natural growth trees. I did have a few duds, so I had to replant a few of them, but it's okay. I think they turned out alright. And then for the base, what I'm thinking of doing is just, of course, getting rid of the netherrack, is to just beef up the trunk a little bit. Probably put down a few extra oak blocks. Not sure what it will do on the side. I'll play with this a little bit, just make it look a little bit nicer. And then I'm going to hang probably some kind of lights from the top. And I think the soul lantern will look good in this area with all the prismarine around. So what we could do is just hang down a few of the lanterns like that. Obviously I need to add in a few leaves and make this all blend in okay, but yeah, having something that's a bit decorative, a little bit functional, could look pretty cool. I won't go too crazy with the lanterns, but you can get the feel for what we're going for. And then I'll probably just put down some tall trees, or not tall trees, but tall flowers, and just bone meal this grass around the base. And then also probably we'll need to hide in some lights, because this doesn't really light up a lot of area, and this will be spawnable probably right here, I'm guessing. Yep, that is spawnable, so yeah, we're going to have to put some kind of light source in the base. Now, what can we do for that? So we want to make it look hidden. I mean, I could do this good old faithful. And then what do we need? We need a trapdoor. So that'll hide the jack-o'-lantern behind that, but you will see the light will come through that. And then we just need to put some leaves on top. Yeah, just something like that. So I'll probably add in this kind of look to the base as well, just to make it look all nice and blended. So you don't see the light source. I mean, you're going to think that maybe these lanterns are giving off the light, but really these don't give off a lot. And then we'll hide the light into the ground. Yeah, I like that look. You can see all the trees poking through. Alright, so now I need to go ahead and complete the same design all the way around. Alrighty, let's go down and check out the progress. And here we go. Now, little details like this do complete a build. It's been long standing. I mean, I've had this area untouched since I worked on this original Guardian farm. So it was well overdue to add some kind of detail around there. And I'm happy with the end result. The trees are, you know, the good old quirkiness of good old Minecraft trees. Yeah, I mean, I could always go and try and make them a little bit more interesting by putting in a lot of leaves myself, but I'm going to leave them like this. And if nothing else, we have a landscape for these llamas to enjoy. I think that's a win-win situation. Saves staring at these guardians all day anyway. Now, if you don't remember, we have a villager trading hall here with a villager zombification system. So let's see if this still works. I know there was changes to the way that these guys get cured and what happens to villagers and zombie villagers when they're in a minecart. So let's see if this still works. So this guy gets crushed, should come around here, get converted, comes across, that works. And of course the minecart doesn't fall down. Now, I do remember when I reviewed the snapshots for the Nether update that when they convert from a zombie villager to a villager now, when they stand up, they will now reach a string and be able to detect it that way. So what we could do is put string above this guy, just like we've done over here. So we have string up there, and then use an observer. Then perhaps that can be a way to now detect when the zombie villager converts into a villager, or is cured into a villager, and then we can open up this hole down here and then let the villager come over to right here. So that is the change. Alright, so let's get started. I've got some supplies here and see what we can do. Well, we have a problem here, and that is because when we now dispense a arrow out of this dispenser, you can see it's going to go through this tripwire and then pulls back this block, which is fine. I mean, that's what we want to do, but not at that time, because I only want to pull this back when the villager or the zombie villager has been cured. Oh my goodness. That worked. So let's go over the redstone that has changed. It was a pretty basic modification really. So this is all the original redstone over here. So this is the line of redstone that goes to this dispenser with the weakness arrows. Now, when that got dispensed, the challenge was trying to make sure that the observer that we now have here wasn't getting activated by the arrow. And the way that we do that is by grabbing the pulse that we have coming off this redstone that goes up to the dispenser, extending it. So we've got a little pulse extension here that runs into this torch, which is powering this piston, and that's going to retract this block. So when this block is retracted and this observer outputs a signal, so this is getting powered from something going through that tripwire that we now have, there's nothing going to be powered down to this block, and that's controlling this piston. So this gets retracted for a short period of time, this drains away of power, this block returns, and then when the zombie villager converts into the villager now and stands up, we now get the redstone coming through the observer again, and that will come down and activate the slower piston. Alrighty, hopefully you can follow all of that. It does work, as you can see. It is a little bit messy, but you know what? Sometimes you just need things to work, and I think we've achieved that. The easiest thing would have been to just not have a dispenser shooting an arrow through this tripwire, but you know what? Sometimes you just got to give a challenge for yourself, and it does look cleaner, at least on the outside here visually, so I'm happy with the end result. Now, with all that done, I think it's time to call an end to the episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It's a little bit of a all bagger, this one. All different things, just decorations and fixing things. There's quite a few things I need to do before we head up to episode 200 with the world tour. And I have a lot to do between now and then. There's many things that I still want to build yet that haven't even started. So yes, you'll see that in future episodes. Alright, so I'll leave it here. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Cheers.